Hold on. Oh my gosh, you're still on there. It can hear you. It can hear you. Yeah. So I'm live right now. And then if you hang up, it won't matter. If you hang up, it won't matter. It'll be fine. It'll keep recording it. No, I want you to stay. It's lonely out here. I said it's hot out here for a pimp. Hey guys. Oh my gosh, Libby. Cause of Hey Live. Oh my gosh. But yeah, we were talking about, hey, what's going on? But you could probably see it on your phone. That's funny. Renee, it might. I got Proverbs 31 on the phone. Let me know if y'all can hear. Okay. Lord. You said what? Can y'all hear her? Did you get to see me, Miss Nicole? Yeah, I saw you post a comment on there on the video. You were like you didn't shout me out. I didn't look back on the list of subscribers. I didn't go back and look. My bad. I went back to work. Now I'm going home. Thank God. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. Like Mr. Brown, huh? Right. About to go into this heavy weekend. Um, I was planning to go to the beach, but I'm looking at the sky right now, and I'm gonna turn it around. Let me see. Matter of fact, let me try to show you this sky. If y'all can see that sky right there, okay. I don't think it's going to work. It keeps telling me rotate device that I don't want to. I don't want to rotate it. I don't want to. I don't have to. I don't want to. But yeah, I we were talking about. I got Proverbs 31 on the phone. We were talking about. But the main topic was patience. Like the I guess the umbrella, the whole concept we were talking about was patience earlier. We're having a real good, thorough conversation about that, and then part of that was communication. Because when you're being patient, you know, we all have to be patient with ourselves when we're trying to accomplish something, or we have an idea that we want to promote to people, bring to people's attention. But you got to be able to communicate with others at some point. You can have that little conversation in your mind with yourself, but you need to communicate with others, especially if you're trying to sell something. Like you're trying to sell an idea to somebody, like, hey, I wanna try to go after this job. You know, you think this is a good idea? What should I do to get there? How should I accomplish this goal? What is your suggestions for me? You need to sit back and have patience and communicate with that person, right? It's harder when you have to communicate with people that you care about, though. I think when you said that earlier, I was like, wow, that's so true. Yeah, familiarity breeds contempt. Yeah, it's back now. It was just a little janky. Hold on, my camera is like crazy. That's what happens when you have that shiny skin. When you have oily skin, that's what happens, I guess. Because I was holding my phone up to my face, and when I was talking to you earlier, huh? My hands are at 4 and 7. Thanks. At the bottom, somewhere at the bottom, 4 and 8, 10 and 2, 10 and 2. Okay. Thanks, mom. But, but yeah. Oh my goodness, Libby, so cute. But yeah, we were talking about communication. I don't know if anybody's gonna come back in because it like cut off. But yeah, I'm looking on the screen. But communication is very difficult, especially in these times when you have so much stuff going on and you want to find somebody that you can communicate with. That's within your inner circle, within your family, your significant other. And when you're not able to communicate with them your feelings, for me, I rationalize a lot of stuff. I don't really, have a lot of emotion when it comes to like current events. It's very rare unless it's like a young child dealing with children. Then I might exude some emotions, but normally I'm just like straight to the point. Let's try to figure out a solution to this problem and get it done. And when you have somebody who may be more emotional than you, they'll be looking like, "What's wrong with you? Why you can't see it from my side, my perspective?" So, and you're just like, "Well, that's just not how I am." So, a lot of it is with the communication thing. A lot of it comes down to somebody's personality and the way people respond to different stimulus. The way they respond, they may not respond the same way that you do. They have to, but in a relationship with your intimate relationship or romantic relationship, you have to say that like this is how I respond to things. This is when the going gets tough, my ass run. That's that. If that's not what I do, but if that's how you are, that's what you have to say. I'm not the type of person. I'm not up for a lot of conflict and back and forth arguments. I'm just not up for that, and I say that up front. We can debate and have a intellectual conversation and debate about something. But if we're gonna argue and raise our voices, I'm just gonna zone you out. I'm gonna tune you out real quick, real freaking quick. Sorry about that, Libby. Real quick, real quick. Oh my goodness. As much trash as that little girl talk, no. No, no, no. Funny. Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you have to tell people straight up because when it's starting to rain, y'all. But you're going back to communication, like when you tell somebody straight up how you are and things that you condone and things you don't condone, and the way you respond to different situations and problems, that actually makes the other person feel more comfortable to open up because you're becoming more vulnerable. You're showing them your vulnerability, and that's another part of relationships, especially between men and women, that is not really spoken about. But I just learned that from experience. Like, the guy would be more vulnerable and be like, well, okay, that was cool that you were being honest. This is what I like to do. This is what I don't like, from a female. And I would always ask them, like, follow-up question to some of the statements was, is that because of how they treated you, or is that, truly a sentiment that you have about that particular, type of situation? Like, for instance, like cheating. Like, I don't condone cheating. And he was like, well, it depends. Like, one guy I was talking to, that's why we're not together. He was just like, well, it depends. It depends on the situation. It depends on. I'm like, all right. I sure did. I was like, I appreciate your honesty. Oh my God, look at the time. I gotta go. Oh, look, it's a Popeyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, look, let me get the Popeyes. Like, no, I'm not about to. But it was good we got that out of the way. It was like maybe our third date or something, and I'm glad I, 200 because he done paid like $200 for a date and all this horse and carriage. And I was like, keep it simple, keep it simple, stupid. Just keep it simple. And let's ship. We don't need to be going on a bunch of expensive dates. I would appreciate that we just not go on a bunch of expensive dates until we have officially made it clear that we're in a relationship. I don't want you holding any grudges against me, and I don't want you thinking I owe you something. And I don't want this to start off spending all this money. We get in a relationship, and then it's not gonna work. I couldn't even see myself being, friends with him, but experience. What were you about to say? Mm. Right. Right. Yeah, I agree. I mean, you're right. You have to always look at, like I was saying on the other video, you have to think positively. Try your best to think positively, and that's not saying you gotta be all happy-go-lucky all the time, but you have to always think like, okay, let me try to look at it from this person's perspective. That's why I asked him, do you feel this way because of your past relationships, or is this really, is this really a conclusion? Like, you really came to this conclusion, and it wouldn't have mattered about what those other women did or didn't do. He was like, it's just me. Like, it's just what I do. All the relationships I had just showed me that pretty much he thought he was right. We disagreed and moved on, but yeah, patience being patient with yourself, because there are times I'll be like, ooh, I want to cuss this person out, but I have to be like, no, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Like what what did she say in Color Purple? He ain't worth it. Oh no, what was it? It was Sophia said to Miss Seeley. He ain't worth it, Miss Seeley. He ain't worth it. He ain't worth it. Huh? Yeah, yeah, yeah. She ain't worth it. No, no, Sophia said that. Oprah said that to Whoopi when they were at the table. Remember at the dinner table. He ain't worth it, Miss Seeley. He ain't worth it. I was like, wow. I always remember that scene when they were at that table, and the granddad was like, maybe they can get her to sleep out the caboose. He laughing. That was hilarious. I was like, that's like the best scene when she was like, he ain't worth it, and I was like, man, yeah, and it is funny how she had to tell her he ain't worth it, and she didn't know that on her own, all the stuff she'd been through with this man, and she couldn't see like, yeah, might want to hit the dusty trail, because this, and I understand at that time in history, women, you couldn't just leave. You couldn't leave. There wasn't no amount of communication or patience that you could have had. That was how society was set up at that time. This is like what, 30s, late 30s or something. And there was no way you could just be like, I'm out, I'm done. No, you can't. You had men back then who killed their wives when they found out they wanted a divorce. You can't, and never found them. So you can't just be like, I'm leaving. And plus, where are you gonna go? What kind of job are you gonna have? You're gonna be a maid, a prostitute? What are you? Or maybe a teacher? What are you gonna do? Like he said in the movie, which was actually true to the way relationships work. He was like, you black, you ugly, you a woman, and he said that with extra. I was like, wow. Their communications back and forth was, in that whole movie, was killing me. I was like, dang. And I asked Grandma, I was like, is this how men used to talk to women? And she said, well, yeah, I can't even watch that movie because it's just too much. It's too much. That made me feel like, wow, men really did talk to women like this back then. And the whole thing with the way have you seen that movie, since we're talking about communication and relationships and stuff, and I'm trying to link it to like different scenes in movies that I've seen, like various movies and even in books and stuff. But have you had a chance to go see the Black Panther movie? No. That's a no. Yeah, I can hear you. That's a no. A lot. Well, the real Black Panthers, yeah. Based on comic books. Right. Bamboozle. The whole hype around it. Mm. Yeah, you said that. I mean, you kind of said it right there at the end when you were like Disney Marvel movie. That kind of tells you right there they already talking about Black Panther Part 2, and there's probably gonna be some straight boo because, or they're gonna try to put some effery in there, um, just because this one made over $1 billion in like 26 days. Mhm. What were you gonna say? Oh Lord, it was important. You gotta think. You gotta sit and think. You gotta sit there like Winnie. You gotta sit there like Winnie the Pooh. Think, 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 think. but I loved it. I watched it twice. The second time, I actually got more out of it. Just looking at the movie. Now I'm not like Kit. Like Kit, she knows about the backstories, the original material of the comic books and comic books themselves, and the animated series. I saw the animated series done by Reginald Hudlin from BET. It's on YouTube, I think. It should still be on YouTube. But she knows a lot of the backstory. I don't know all that backstory, but the movies were great. I really liked it. Yeah, I have the comics on my Kindle. Yeah, I have the comics on my Kindle. What's his name? Ta-Nehisi Coates did the comics. I think he did the updated some of the writing or something like that, and he brought it back out again. They put it on Kindle. As soon as it came on Kindle, I got them, and that was what, like 2 years ago when I got them. So I didn't know anything about a movie coming out. Just because I'm out here in LA, don't mean we know about the movies that's gonna come out. People email me that all the time. I'm like, I don't know what movies coming out. I'm not even in Hollywood. Like, I don't work with movies and stuff. But really, really like top notch imagery. Just seeing so many black people in a royal regalia, like just seeing the fight scenes. Even though I didn't like the fact they had black people fight each other, I didn't like that. The Dora Milaje and the way they were moving and the way they were doing their thing, I like that. I even like Killmonger. I liked his character. Killmonger represented the African Americans in this country, and many African Americans who have been born here and maybe traveled around the world, maybe in the military, maybe for business or what have you, and that deep seated internal struggle that we have with, of course, the oppressors, but also with Africans that are on the continent. It's like an abandoned child syndrome, separation anxiety type thing. And with him, the only issue I have with him is we talked about this on the hangout with Babe. What was it called? Why Killmonger was wrong. We talked about this on there, and then we talked about it on another hangout with Marcus and Kit. We were talking, like, I think it was like the breakdown of different characters, and BGS Ibmore and Torian Rain came in later on. I was gone by then. My phone died, so I was gone. Like, I think I came back in and made like a comment in the comment section, the chat room, but I was like, my phone dead. I'm going to sleep. So I went to bed. But Killmonger was like an African American who is just a standard African American who's upset with the system, who doesn't like how the system is going, but they kind of played the spook who sat by the door. He was in the military. He learned all their skills. He learned about all their weapons, and he wanted to take over the world, but he had no clear strategy in the movie. And people thought he was bad in the movie. Hell, read the comic books. He was 10 times worse in the comic books. I mean, it was really bad in the comic. I mean, he was bad. That dude was bad, but not bad like, oh, he's horrible, kill him. He was bad like he had real strategies in the comic book. I don't know what they did to the character in the movie in that regard, but they made him the bad guy. Like, they made it like, oh, this is a villain. If you African American, this is the dude you don't want to be. Be like T'Challa. T'Challa was like Obama. Okay, T'Challa was like the king before he saw the light. It's like straight out. This is what it is. We ride as well. In the comics, he was more intellectual. I mean, T'Challa, they even toned down T'Challa's genius, and Kit made this point. She said they toned T'Challa's genius down and made his sister shine as the intellectual in the movie, whereas in the comics, T'Challa is a genius. He's developing all these different technologies they use in Wakanda, and his sister is assisting him because you have to remember she's only 16 years old. So she's assisting him. The only time you saw her going to, not even saw her really assist him, but the only time you saw her where she would probably assist him in the future was at the end of the movie, where he was talking about where she would assist them and she would do this and that. She would help with some type of youth outreach center they wanted to build. So that's the only time. But in the comics, if you want to be true to original material, like Kit said, you have to say, okay, yeah, they really toned his intellect down in the movie and made him like he was just a little fluffy bunny or a little cat or something. Jack Kirby and Stan Lee. So it was not. I don't think it came out like months ago. They were talking about it, just getting all crazy and hard jobs. Very important. Above a director, you have a producer. Um, that like if they wanted to make Thundercats into a movie, they'd have to adapt the cartoon or Transformers, adapt that cartoon into the movie itself. So there's a lot that goes into writing that. The director has to stick to what the screenplay writer has on paper and what the producer says what will happen. Because the producers like money, all that stuff. They deal with the money. They deal with the basic casting, the type of person we want to play this character. The director will say, okay, this person goes here, this person goes there. They do the storyboards, and it's funny because it's a movie that is derived from a comic book. When they do storyboards for each scene, it looks like a comic book. They put a storyboard up. I think they use Promethean boards now, but they used to have paper, a big long paper sheet, and they'd have it drawn out or a dry erase board and drawn out. This is what this person's doing at this scene and that scene, and they have a long wall and it has all these storyboards on it. And all they do now is go and take a picture of each storyboard image, and they're like, this is how you're supposed to fall in this scene. The director makes sure that you stick to that storyboard, and the storyboard is drawn out by the animators and stuff based on the screenplay. So the person develops from the words on paper to what you see in a movie. That's the most important person to me. A director is just capturing everything and making sure you don't have shadows and making sure it looks great on screen. And then the director really ain't the last person because you got the editors, you have the sound managers, you have the people that have to match the sound with the mouth, or you be looking like an old Chinese movie. You have people who have to hold the if you see the behind the scenes of any movie, especially Black Panther, any action movie, any Marvel movie, whatever, you see all those people that are standing behind. They have the green screen up. Somebody has to hold that, or either they have a screen tray, which is a little it looks like a little lawnmower, riding mower, and it pulls the screen that's green, and then they have to go back and digitally master all the landscape, make it look like you're in Africa, even though you're in Australia, for instance. They'll do that. Make it look like in Africa, even though you in Atlanta in Tyler Perry Studios. Like they do that, which is what they did. Or they had to do. So people have to like go back and do sound engineer. If it's a windy day and you're filming in Australia, you got to have the sound on point so you can take all that background out, the background sound. You have to be able to delete all of that so it sounds crisp and clear. But this is what comic book coons don't care about. They don't think about all the extra stuff. You have a director of photography on a movie. How do you think they have the ads and the posters and billboards and all that stuff. Somebody has to take pictures when they are in action. Because when they say action on an action movie set or any movie set, when they say action, that means action to not only the actors, the sound people, the light people, the replay people, because you gotta have people that replay certain sounds over and over, music and stuff like that in the background to keep the actors on point. That also goes for the director of photography, because he has a camera that's going on a track somewhere taking pictures of the scene as it's occurring, a fight scene as it's occurring, all that kind of stuff. People they don't think about that kind of stuff. When you're actually on a movie set, or you're actually on a music video set or something like that, those are two different things, but you actually get to see, like, oh dang, it's a lot that goes into this. You think it's only like 3 people there doing that scene. No, it's like 30 people on the scene doing stuff. No, girl, it could take like an hour to film 2 minutes of a movie. Just 2 minutes, because they have to make sure that the sound is right, and it might be a high emotional, intense scene. It might be a death, a murder scene. So you got to get all the special effects people in there. If the actor can't sweat immediately, how you gonna get the person like they sweating? Okay, now we got to bring in special effects, makeup. All that has to go into place. And even with makeup and airbrushing, you still have to go back at the end of the day and Photoshop some of the scenes. Somebody has to go through pixel by pixel, second by second sometimes, and Photoshop a person's face if it's up close, especially if there's an actor with bad skin. If you got bad skin, you got bad skin, okay? You got makeup, that don't always fix it. You got blemishes, freckles, all that. Huh? Hey, yes, and developing those applications too. You're right. And that's a whole nother type of communication when it comes to languages. There's all kinds of languages for computers, cameras now. All the different digital cameras are out there. The editing software, that has a program you have to use. I have no idea how to use any of that stuff. I would love to learn, because that would be good to incorporate into my work I do. But it's crazy. I'm looking. I see 3 people, but I don't see any chats. Hold on. Maybe I can. Let's see. Show live chat. Maybe that's what it was. Oh dang. I didn't have the chat on. Huh? I said show. What's the question? No, that was not a coincidence. That was definitely not coincidence. That was definitely intentional. Yeah. Sorry for the background noise. If you hear this, hold on. Can you hear it, Renee? All right. This is LA. All right. He in the car dancing. He dancing. I wish I could show, but I don't feel like getting a ticket for holding my phone. But he right next to me dancing too. He's looking right at me. I'm trying to ignore him. He in the car like, yeah, dancing doing something crazy. I'm like, and he wants to look over here anyway. I'm like, no, don't do it. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. He's still dancing. Like, he having a good time in his car. He got the kids oh Lord, he got the kids in the back dancing too. Right, that's what I was just about to say that. It must be payday. He's like, I got my $50. I'm ready to go. I got my $500, honey. I'm about to go party, and I got my refund check, girl. I'm going to go. He's going straight to the straight to the what do you call it, sombrero club around Mexican pubs and stuff like that around here where I live, and they be in there playing pool. They be in there square dancing, girl. Salsa dancing. They have so much fun, and they get so drunk. Like, cause a lot of Spanish people, they go to church on Saturday. They're Catholic, and so they go out and they party hard on Friday. Friday is like, that's it. We going out. He got his arm out the window, like he doing all kinds of crazy stuff right now. But yeah, it was. I think it was intentional. I have gone. That's how I know, because I've gone to some of these taquerias, and I call them sombrero clubs, because everybody in there, a lot of dudes be in there with sombreros on, and they have a little. They have on little cowboy boots and stuff, girl. That's the funniest thing. I'm like, what are you wearing, dog? We're gonna go dancing, bailando, bailando. Yes, they're sticking up. Yeah, they wear those. Yeah, sometimes they have, and it has like has like the gold point on the end, the gold tips. I see those. I'm like, wow, these dudes wearing. Mhm. They wear those. They have the ones that curl up at the end, in the front, and they be dancing with those. I'm like, this. They had a big old belt buckle. I'm like, your belt buckle would be as big as your face. Like, that's crazy. But yeah, what you were saying earlier, I think it was intentional because they knew they gonna get that money at that time, and because we don't have, as black people, a lot of forms of entertainment that are well known, and I think a lot of times we're given permission by white people to enjoy certain things, like as far as movies and shows. We're given permission to like it. If it was, I feel like if Black Panther was written, directed, originally written, directed, and all that, and well, not just directed, but produced and everything. If the studio was black owned, and if Tyler Perry put out Black Panther, first of all, there would have been some effery in there. You already know that it would have been some fuckery. It was a mess. Medea would have been in there somewhere. Mr. Brown probably, it would have been something crazy. Maybe not as a comedic relief, but they would have been in there. The actors would have been in there somewhere, and that would have threw everything off. The energy would have been thrown off. Oh, okay, like, what are you doing? Get that shit out of here. Like, nobody has time. So this old man got this big 745 Li white like your mama had, and he can't drive. He an old man, old black dude with the shades on, and a members only jacket. Look like trying to drive. What you trying to do, dog? You blocking 3 lanes of traffic with that big car. They knew what they were doing. They don't release movies. They released the last Planet of the Apes movie at a certain time. And there's a lot of imagery and symbolism in that movie. I was listening to Tariq's podcast about that. And when I went and looked at it, I was like, dang, he's right. When you look at some of the imagery they put in the original Planet of the Apes, when you look at the imagery they put in the original Black Panther comics, it makes sense because that was what was going on at that time period. They put stuff in there that was going on at that time, and Twilight Zone, for instance, all these different things they had in shows back in the 60s and 70s. You had the Black Panthers in real life putting in that work. Just a mythical character, kind of like a satire on what the Black Panthers are doing in real life. Black Panther is helping his community, helping his people. Black Panthers in real life helping their community, helping their people. But the only thing is they're the real life heroes. This man never walked this earth. Well, give the little nigglets something to look up to, but not the real ones who were taken out. So, yeah, Yeah, you just said it because they were about unity and community. If you're a black man, you can't be about unity. We want you. We want you. Is Libby? Is she asleep? Oh, she's sitting right there. Oh, she's sitting right there. Oh, you can't. If you a black man, we want you fucking Cardi B and doing what you got to do. We want you with Beyonce. We want you with every black woman who want to be white, and we don't want you dealing with your communities. I just did a video about this recently. Akon tried to help Puerto Rico after the hurricane came through there, and the U.S. government said, hell no, nigga, kick rocks. So, yeah, you said what it is right there. If you a black man, or if you black in general, just black woman or black man, but specifically a black man, you are not allowed to help your own people. If you're Asian, Hispanic, white, Jewish, whatever whatever you are, Arab, you can. And you're giving help. You're giving subsidies by the government to help your people. But if you black, what you doing helping your own people? What are you trying to do? It was at the forum here in L.A. I forgot the dude's name, but he was the minister because the forum, which is where they have like the MTV Awards, music awards, over there on Century. I think it's Century and something Prairie or something like that. But they said that they were having their church there. Their church was leasing the building, and if you out here in LA, you know how big the dang forum is. It's huge. But it was like a mega church. Basically, that's what they were going to turn it into eventually when they built up their numbers. That man said he wanted to have Farrakhan. He wanted to have Louis Farrakhan there. And do you know the man who owns the building said, if you have Farrakhan here, you can't have church here no more. He is not going to be here. And you know the truth that Farrakhan speaks. He spits fire. He's like, what, 90 years old? Dang near 90. And they were like, no, you can't have him here. And the minister, whoever it was that was over the money, was like, well, I guess we can't have Farrakhan. He bent. He just bent at the knee. You might as well bend over at the waist, homie, because that's what just happened. So if you speak up or you say anything, you can go down the list. Tupac, he already knew before he was killed. He was like, oh, they coming for me. Look at my background. Look at my mother. My mother got herself from, she didn't get herself out of prison, but she got a lot of the other, what was it, the something 9, am I wrong, was the Panther 9 or something that she did. They have a phrase for it. I forgot the phrase of it. But she got a lot of Black Panthers and a lot of Black nationalists and socialists, I believe, from going to prison. She took their fall. She said, I'm representing them. She was pregnant with Tupac, and she was in prison. He was born in prison. He was born in prison on a cold table, a metal table, I'm sure. This is prison, so the same type of table they deliver the babies on and do any kind of medical procedure on you is the same type of table they serve you food on, metal. And I mean, he was talking about that when I was born in a prison. My mother, imagine that. I'm inside her womb, and she's confined like an animal. And you going to tell me that it's a problem when we act a certain way? Who imprisons a pregnant woman? But you going to tell me I'm a savage. And then him helping his community, he didn't have to say nothing. Tupac could have grown up. He could have grown up and been a lawyer and not represented any black person and got every white person that he represented off, and they still would have killed him because of who his mother was and what she stood for. Because even if he represented every white person as a lawyer, if he went that route and became a lawyer or a doctor and saved every white person that he ever came in contact with, they would have said, no, this nigga's a sleeper cell. They still would have suspected him of being a sleeper cell. They always had that suspicion of us. It's like a paranoia but specifically with black men. I mean, you said it. You said like, they're doing all this to their community. To them, you're not human. That means you don't have a community. You're not a human being. That was the main idea of the Panthers. We are human beings, and we deserve respect. If we don't get respect, we will take it by any means and every means necessary. That's what it was. Of course, a militant Negro to them, people always have this misconception. They're like, oh, a militant, a nigga that's militant is one. A black man that's militant is one that's gonna be, out here shooting. Like, we need to go shoot up. We need to go rob some banks. Yeah, nigga, we need to go get this, do this, get that money. We gonna pop out. We gonna pop off. No, a militant dude to them, a militant nigga is one that will read a book before he drive his ass to Popeyes. He will read a book, and he will be in his basement. He'll leave his house with his book, go to his mama's basement with his friends, and sit around and have a study session in his basement, in his mom's basement or in his basement or whatever, in a library, having a study session about that book. That's a public enemy number one. A man who will say, I want organic, I want GMO free foods. Oh, you know what? Let me go get some GMO free seeds and natural organic seeds so I can start a garden. That's a problem. That's a threat for them. Stay doing this, but never think. That's what they tell you. That's what the concept is. Stay whatever you want to stay in this system, but never think. Don't think about anything. That's why when you go and look at TV, the last time I was watching TV, I had to turn it off. I couldn't deal with it. It was just too much coming at me at one time because I'm so used to being on YouTube, Netflix, Hulu, watching these different outlets, and Black Junction TV and watching that. And I was like, I can't choose what I want to watch when you're watching TV. It's like you just, you see everything that's going on that they want you to see. And I was like, this is kind of crazy. But I thought about, like, what if somebody's sitting here and they don't have a choice? They don't have a phone where they can look at all these different platforms. They have to sit there and watch TV. I would be so upset. I would be like, I don't have a choice. I can't choose what I want. I can't think for myself. They'd be like, choice? Niggas ain't got no choice. Niggas can't spell choice. That's the thing they would say. You ain't got no choice. You ain't human. So what you talking about choice? Yeah, I choose it for you because you're less than human. And that mentality of thinking that we're less than, huh? What? Find something that will detain you so it can enter you into your system. That's what I mean. I know Dr. Umar says a lot of stupid stuff, but there is one point he did make, and it had nothing to do with school, nothing to do with anything like that. But he said, entertainment. And I think he got it from someone else, but he said entertainment is a process where they have to detain you so something can enter. They have to hold you down so something can enter you. So the propaganda, the imagery, the subliminal messages, all that is entering into your subconscious while you're being detained in front of an idiot box and not realizing like you don't have a choice. But you're right. And another thing that reminds me of what you were just saying, like treating you like you're a child. When I'm in church, in certain churches, I'm like, do they think we stupid? I be sitting there looking like, do y'all think we just don't know what's going on in the world? They be sitting there like talking to us like we're kids. I'm like, come on, man, this is not like no, that's not the way this is gonna go down. They like, and then what? Oh my gosh! And I just love Corey. He's funny. He's a comedian and he's hilarious. But he made a point. He was like, all you gotta do when church folks try to talk to you about something, you be like, when? He said, when? He's like, just say when. Just ask them when, and they're gonna be like, it happened a long time ago. When? What's the date? What's the year? He said, "Well, Jesus," and then Zoe. He's really cool. He's funny. He was like, he said, "Well, it happened 1 BC. It happened 1 BC. When was it? In January, March?" He was like, "It happened on the seventh day. When?" He just kept saying when. Just keep hitting him with that goddamn when. They ain't gonna be able to say nothing. I was like, Corey's a fool for that. He said he would say it to his mom when she took him to church. He was little. He'd be like, when? And he got older. He said, I started to get older. I started to realize something wrong with this thing. Like this whole religion thing don't make sense. Y'all trying to treat us like we're little kids or something. He's like, y'all treating us like we're little kids, like we don't know what's going on. What is Libby doing? Oh my gosh, look at these clouds. Somebody said it looked like water earlier, the clouds. Yeah, it's I'm gonna make this other turn so you can see the other way. Hold on. No, no, it's not the same because you guys are 3 hours ahead. So what we get, yeah, it's behind. Whatever you're seeing, where it's like where it's really dark at the bottom where the traffic light is. That's like over the ocean, I think. Huh? What? Girl, please. Looks like rain. Tut tut. I saw one of the clouds. I thought you were talking about the one that looked like a dude. Sorry. I had, there was one up there that looked like a dude. It looked like a penis. Those little kids be like, oh my gosh, his wanker. It looked like a penile structure. No, but I think that we had a good conversation. I really enjoyed it. I have to. Oh yeah, what's his name? Go or either I think it's a dude, Verotiki. He was like in one of my comments, one of my videos. I see you. He was like, I'm gonna have to holler at him. He said I'm still not a mod because I went through and thanked my subscribers and stuff, and I'm still not a mod. I was like, man, fuck this dude. I was like, man, get your ass out of here. I said, okay, I see you. You gonna be a mod next time. So now he gonna be mad. He on here, pissed off. I'm still not a mod. I can only mod people up. I looked it up. I was like, I can only mod you up if I'm on a computer. So my bad, dog. I like controversial topics, so I agree. Things that are controversial, I'm there. I just like to learn new things and see new stuff. But I'm about to head on that. I'm about to go home, go on to the house. See this raggedy ass dog I got. This, huh? Oh yeah, I gotta do that. I got pictures of him on my phone too. It's so badass. It's not my dog. It's my roommate's dog. But that dog, he don't do nothing to me. He's fine with me. But as soon as my roommate come in, he acts a fool every time. I clean it up, but he don't poop when I'm around. He just act like he has sense when he's around me. He waits till I take him out to walk him. I'm gonna walk him before it gets dark, because he won't walk when it's dark for some reason. He's afraid of the dark for some reason. He's a dumb dog, but he doesn't have a lot of sense, and he just get real scared and sketchy. He start trying to run when it's dark. He pee real quick and run off. And I gotta hurry up and get over there because it's about to rain again. But I will holla. I'm gonna be at that. Oh Lord. Oh gosh. Oh my Jesus. Well, I'll let you go. I'll holler at you later. Love you. Thank you everybody who was able to watch. If you weren't able to comment, my B. Love you too, Libby. Bye. Let me turn it around so you can see me one last time. Bye.